Hey, what's going on, guys? This is your boy C Will back to you with another video. Man, I'm super excited today because it is Tech Tuesday. Yeah, Tech Tuesday again. And man, we are back with some great information. We have a lot of people that's down at Computex. And man, what AMD has just revealed, as you can see here, AMD Ryzen 9000. We have some official talk that's about it, and it's going to be releasing in July. Yep, that's next month. Next month in July is going to be releasing. But before we get into any of that, make sure that you hit like, hit subscribe, hit the bell so you receive all my notifications. And man, we're really coming up on the 11,000 subscriber mark. We got a little bit over 500 subscribers left to make sure that we make that happen. And then by the end of the year, we're definitely trying to make sure that we hit 20,000 subscribers. So yes, 20, the big 20. So definitely make sure that you do your part, hit like, hit subscribe, share the channel, all that good stuff. Let's get into it. So taking a look here with the Ryzen 9000. Now I'm excited. I saw the keynote. There was a lot of talk about AI. NVIDIA kind of kicked stuff off with AI at Computex on, I think it was like Sunday night. But yeah, a lot of talk about AI. We got AMD that talked about AI, but we have some specifics here. So taking a look at this. So the top of the line chip for right now, and I say right now because in AMD's fashion, they will release their regular, high-end chips first, and then they'll turn back around probably maybe either towards the end of this year or maybe CES. They're going to release the actual X3D variants. And if you don't know about X3D, those are the top of the line gaming chips, basically. It has the 3D V cache and all that good stuff. So yeah, they're going to be coming out with that. So the 16 core chip, the 9950X, is going to have a max boost up to 5.7 gigahertz, 80 megabytes of cache, which is kind of similar to what the current 7000 series has, but the TDP is a little bit different. So on the 9950X, it's 170 watts. On the 9900X, which is a 12-core chip, 120 watts, and then the Ryzen 7, 9700X, and 9600X, 65-watt TDP. So it looks like it's becoming a little bit more efficient. The boost clocks are a little bit higher. And for what I've been seeing, we've gone to the next, and that's just a look at the actual chips with the two CCDs. Going here when we're talking about performance. Now, this is an important thing. And the reason why is because I want you to make sure that you take a look at this with a grain of salt. Okay. And the reason why I say it's a grain of salt, because we don't know the actual, the tested parameters and what they were using. I've heard that they were using DDR5 6000 when they was doing the testing. And then I heard that they was using the 7900 XTX. It's a couple of issues that I had with this, because if you're doing a side-by-side comparison like this, this really does put, and I'm not surprised, it puts AMD in a better limelight. And let me explain how. When the 14900K, and I know there's been a whole lot of talk about it. I have one. I currently use one with my 4090. But it says that the actual 9950X, it looks to have, I think the actual geomean was like 16% faster. And you have some cases like in Blender, it's 56% faster than the 14900K. But if you're only using 6,000 mega transfers on the memory speed, the 14900K scales with memory speed. With the 7950X, the actual 3D chips and stuff like that, it really, like Ryzen really didn't scale with higher memory speeds. So what this explains to me, that it actually leaves performance on the table. So you're kind of shortchanging the 14900K in that fact, but never mind that. The other thing, when you're talking about like the different games that's being tested, we don't know whether or not. Okay, so let me explain this for a second. I'm actually going to do a separate video on this. So here's the thing: when you have when you put an AMD CPU with an AMD GPU, they have this thing called SAM, Smart Access Memory. Well, it works in tandem very well together, which is also the same thing as kind of rebar. It's pretty much the same technology, right? That works in all of the games when it comes to AMD, all of them. So, but when it comes to NVIDIA, when rebar is on with NVIDIA, not every game supports actual rebar. So what happens is you will see a performance difference when it comes to certain games. So it's not an apples to apples comparison. So it would have been good. Now, obviously, we know AMD is not going to test out their new chip with the NVIDIA GPU. We know they're not going to do that. But this is why individual testing is very important, because you want to be able to say, okay, hey, how does this CPU, everybody may not have a AMD GPU. So how does this AMD CPU work with both, an NVIDIA GPU and an AMD GPU? And a lot of times, things come out a little bit different, saying when you mix up the hardware, which again, you have a lot of people, they don't have the same type of hardware, from the same manufacturer. So that's an important thing to be able to take a look at here. I'm not going to, dive too deep into that. But when it comes to the 16% uplift in IPC, which is instructions per clock, man, it seems like, again, grain of salt, it seems like this chip, if you average out a geo mean of 16% versus Zen5, that's pretty good. But now that also still doesn't break down which Zen4 chips, because are we talking about a 9950X versus a 7950X, or is it a 9950X versus a 7950X 3D? Because the 3D chips are faster in gaming. So in my mind, I'm just gonna say it right offhand, I believe the Zen5 chips are on par with the X3D chips. And once the X3D chips come out, it's probably going to be an additional, probably 15 to 20% faster. That's what I'm thinking. So should you upgrade right now is the question. And in my mind, I would wait, if you can. Like if you go wait right now, just hold off on upgrading your CPU. If you have to do an absolute build right now, I would say get a 7800X 3D. If you're just doing it for gaming. If not, if you need something productivity wise, 7950X 3D is going to be a lot of deals is going to go on. But if you're going to do that, make sure you do it now, because once the actual new Zen5 chips come out next month, they're not going to do the discounts on the current 7000 series chips, because they want to force you to move on to the next. So anyways, all right. So next thing up when it comes to that are the actual motherboards. And we're talking about X870, X870E. And yes, as you can see here, USB 4.0 standard on all of the actual motherboards. And that's going to be huge, especially when you're talking about doing different things. I actually have a video that's coming up. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and show this to you on camera now. So this is a video coming. This is the Elgato 4KX. And let me tell you, you're going to want to make sure that you have, the fastest USB drives available, slots available, because yeah, this thing does, you could capture 4K 144 hertz. Yeah, you heard that right. 4K 144 hertz. Yeah. So this is the next review that I have coming up. This is going to be awesome. So definitely make sure that you hit subscribe, hit like, and hit the bell so you don't miss that video. So with that being said, the next big thing that we have along with this, it has PCIe Gen 5 on the actual graphics slot and also all of the NVMEs. So that's going to be huge. And then higher memory clock support. And what I'm going to come back to this, but what I've been hearing, I think it says somewhere on here on videocards.com that it's going to support 8,000 mega transfers off the rip. And so that's also telling me that the actual memory controller on the new 9000 series is going to be a lot better when it comes to memory speeds and being able to take advantage of them and the infinity cache and all that good stuff. So we would definitely see. But here's the big thing. So, AMD has supported AM4 socket for a long time. I mean, like a very long time. So if we're going back to it, I think it goes all the way back to, what is this? Zen4 has been around for a while, and they've supported this with the actual chips, and they also saying that they're going to support Zen5 to 2027. And then it says plus, but hey, 2027 is good, because last time that they brought out the chips, it said 2025. So 2027, just knowing that any of the actual CPUs that come out between now and then, it's still going to be on the AM, saying the actual AM5 socket, which is different from Zen5. Zen5 is the chip. AM5 is the actual socket itself on the motherboard. So you'll be able to, let's say you already have a great motherboard, a great AM5 motherboard, which I do, my Gene board, Asus. X670E gene. I don't have to worry about actually upgrading that motherboard to be able to take advantage of the new CPUs coming out. And, you know what I'm saying? At least for the next, it's 2024. So we got 3 more years before we can even think about trying to upgrade. But obviously, you know, somewhere down the line, I'm going to upgrade my motherboard because I want to see the new features and all that. But knowing that you don't have to upgrade your whole system to be able to do that means a heck of a lot to a lot of the enthusiasts and everybody that's out there. And so, yeah, let me know what you think down in the comments below. If you plan on upgrading to the new 9000 series, if you have an X670 or X670E board, do you plan on upgrading your board or keeping what you have? Are you going to do a drop-in upgrade? Let a brother know. But hey, that's it for this video. Again, that is Tech Tuesday. So definitely we're going to be doing these every week. And I'm definitely looking forward to it. I see you all in the next video. And we're going to definitely be talking about some NVIDIA stuff. So hang tight. See you then.